we've heard the rest of the leadership of the party speaking, or not in unison. What is the way forward for perhaps the biggest opposition party in Nigeria today? And we'll be looking at the chances of the coalition, what is happening in Benue State. A former governor will be speaking with me tonight on the program. But stick around. Let's check out first your political roundup stories.
The Senate has passed the 2025 budget of Rivers State, totaling 1.485 trillion naira, following the third reading of the appropriation bill on the Senate floor today. The passage came after the upper chamber considered the report of the ad hoc committee on Rivers State during the Committee of Supply session. The bill seeks to authorize the issuance of 1,485,662,592,442 naira from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of Rivers State for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio has condemned the recent Yellow-Water killings in Benue State, describing the killing of innocent civilians as an act of terrorism. Speaking during the plenary session, Senator Akpabio expressed deep concern over the gruesome attack and raised fears that such violence may have political undertones. He expressed hope that the killings are not politically motivated, warning that those behind the violence will be identified and brought to justice. Similarly, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the recurring killings in Benue State following the attack in Yelwata village. The resolution was reached during a motion by Honorable Dixon Takigir, urging the House to act quickly to prevent a recurrence. Relevant committees have also been mandated to visit Yelwata community for an on-the-spot assessment. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has cautioned parties in the suit filed against Professor Pat Utomi in relation to his alleged planned shadow government to desist from acts capable of jeopardizing the outcome of the suit. Justice Omotosho notes that it is the law that once parties are aware of the pendency of a suit, they should refrain from taking any further steps capable of rendering the outcome of such a suit nugatory. The judge also adds that there are always consequences for any party who engages in such unlawful conduct, and adds that he would not hesitate to void any steps taken by any of the parties during the pendency of the case. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has confirmed receiving letters of intent from 110 associations seeking registration as political parties. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this today, noting that the requests are being processed in line with relevant laws and the Commission's regulations and guidelines. Ahead of the 2026 Ekiti governorship election, the state resident electoral commissioner has announced the notice and timetable of the poll to all political parties in the state. Speaking at a press conference in the INEC office in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, the REC, Dr. Bumi Omoshe-Indemi, says the press conference was in line with the provision of Section 28(1) of the Electoral Act 2022 as amended, which mandates INEC to issue a notice of election not later than 360 days before the date appointed for the election.
All right, then, let's get to it, everyone. So it began earlier today. You remember the meeting that People's Democratic Party leadership and some governors of the party had with the INEC officials yesterday. And it was interesting, the perspective of the INEC chairman, when he says, you've left us with confused. At some point you said, do not recognize Sam Anyawu, recognize Udio Okoye. At some point you wrote a letter signed by the chairman of the party. Which one are we to take? So the party today, apparently, from what the outcome of that meeting was, came out and made an announcement. Let me allow you to listen to what they said in respect of the position of the National Secretary, because that is a crucial signature for any official transmission of communication between the party and any external force, especially as far as the operation of the party is concerned. Listen to Mr. Umar Damagum earlier today on the position of the National Secretary of the party. Interesting is that you find some governors of the PDP at that meeting. Take a listen.
We have decided to abide by the advice they gave us. Especially, we have a very, very important election before us. That is the FCT election, and we are running out of time, so we have no option but to abide by the decision. After due consultation and everything, we thought it's a bitter pill, but we have to swallow it. When I said critical decision, I now is resuming as the National Secretary. I think that's the most important thing. We'll have a caucus, expanded caucus, so that we will discuss extensively the way forward to NEC. That would be on the 30th. We'll issue the notice. It will not going to be NEC, but an expanded caucus.
Well, that statement got a reaction from the Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike. Let me allow you to listen to what he said in reaction to the announcement of a possible reinstatement of Mr. Sam Anyanwu.
I heard it when the acting national chairman of PDP was directing the national secretary to resume. National secretary is not your appointee. National secretary has been doing his work, so you can't call him to resume because of the illegalities you perpetrate, and that you don't show leadership. That's where you put yourself where you are. It is nobody's making. National secretary has been working and will continue to work. It doesn't require anybody to direct him to resume work. It's because of your ignorance of the law. Too bad. Too bad. The law does not recognize ignorance. That you are not, that you are ignorant of the law. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. And so I feel so bad when people can now move to INEC for INEC to direct them to obey Supreme Court judgment. It's most unfortunate. A political party would now go and ask from INEC, what do we do? INEC will now direct you, go and obey Supreme Court judgment. You see, when you shoot yourself, you say somebody that shot you. Continue to shoot yourself. I will not be party of those that will shoot myself.
Well, that was a statement earlier today by Mr. Nyesom Wike in reaction to what Mr. Umar Damagum said. But well, this is where the kick is. About 11 members of the NWC and leadership of the party had come out, led by Mr. Taufik Arakpaja, who is the Deputy National Chairman South of the party. Also in that signatory to the statement is the National Public Secretary of the party, the Acting National Secretary, the National Treasurer, the National Auditor, the National Financial Secretary, the National Vice Chairman Southeast, the Caretaker Committee Chairman South-South, the National Woman Leader, and the National Vice Chairman Southwest. About 11 of them. And they came out in what has become trouble surrounding the office of the National Secretary of the PDP, and it appears to be defiling every solution what the problem has been, as a recent decision by some of the leaders of the party to reinstate Anyanwu as against split the party. Now, a statement signed by the PDP National Public Secretary, Mr. Debo Ologunagba, and 10 others, including the Deputy National Chairman South, are saying that the decision to reinstate Mr. Anyanwu as is null and void and misleading, as no organ or individual can overturn the decision of the party's National Executive Committee, which is the NEC, and is at its last meeting. The statement also maintained that, contrary to the announcement or cancellation of the June 30th National Executive Committee meeting and replacing it with an expanded caucus meeting, the planned NEC meeting will hold as scheduled. The battle for the office of the PDP National Secretary looks continuing to tear the party apart. It has also been cited by some members who have defected from the party in recent times as the main reasons for leaving the party. Now, who exactly is the leader of the party? Who are we to believe or to listen to? Mr. Damagum has spoken with some governors, Mr. Arakpaja and Debo Ologunagba on one hand. NEC meeting has been shifted, date has been shifted. They say no, that nothing has happened. It will hold. The confusion is on a large scale. But where does the main opposition party in Nigeria, where does it go from here? We're talking about coalition and how the opposition will play its role and keep the ruling party on its toes. Let's make sense of all of this for us. We'll be speaking tonight with a former governor of Benue State and a former federal lawmaker, Senator Gabriel Suswam. He's live for us here in our studio. Thank you, Excellency, for joining us tonight.
Sharon, thank you very much.
The last time, it was confusion about the state of the PDP. Tonight, it does look like the confusion is even larger in proportion. What do you make of what has gone wrong? What has happened today?
Well, Sharon, the last time I was here, I told you about leadership. And leadership must first, there are certain qualities required of a good leader: integrity and clarity. The PDP leadership doesn't have either of this. There is no integrity in the leadership of PDP. I'm happy that that's some Wike mentioned. I have consistently said that Damagum is not a leader. Because it's simple. What has happened here is that after the meeting with INEC, a good leader, expectedly, would have met with the National Working Committee members to brief them before holding any press conference. Whether he briefed them, nobody knows. And I believe that if I had called them into a meeting and said, look, we had a meeting with INEC, and this is what INEC have insisted on, I'm not sure these other National Working Committee members would have gone out there to give a contrary opinion as to what happened. I'm sure they were not in the know of the outcome of the meeting with INEC. That is not leadership. Damagum has been the problem of PDP. Since he assumed acting national chairman of the party has been drifting downwards. I've said this inconsistently. First and foremost, they breached the provisions of the Constitution, which say that he must act for a period, and this position must go back to the North Central. There was a gang up among the stakeholders. Now, it's existing. I'm a member of PDP. I'm a major stakeholder.
The party is non-existent.
As far as, well, you've just mentioned it yourself, because the magnitude of the confusion in the party. Now, we're supposed to have a NEC meeting. The chairman,
on the 30th, that's next
the
week.
Chairman, who ordinarily should be the one to call the NEC meeting, is saying that it will be an expanded caucus, no longer a NEC meeting. About 11 National Working Committee members are saying that there's going to be NEC meeting. A party like PDP to find itself in this quagmire. It is very unfortunate that people who are the biggest beneficiaries of this platform are the ones who have deliberately and intentionally.
So maybe I should remind our viewers tonight as to what the INEC chairman said yesterday, which would put a very good background. And perhaps, first and foremost, let us look at the faces of those who were with Mr. Damagum today.
Yeah.
And it's very critical to know that the governors of the PDP have always held sway. And they've all can put out back the film of when Mr. Damagum was announcing before, when he made that announcement. And these are governors of the PDP. These are, and I imagine that these are those who prompted him to. I imagine that also they met a brick wall from yesterday's meeting. Let's remind our viewers tonight. Okay, so this is the film of what we saw today. And just on the left of Mr. Damagum is the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, who has assumed the leadership of the party, who has given the party some kind of leadership.
Who is the presumptive leader of the party?
Presumptive leader of the party. But let me remind our viewers tonight of what the INEC chairman said yesterday. Maybe Senator Suswam will even be more irritated by the situation in the party the more. Take a listen to what INEC chairman said yesterday.
We received letters from the party saying that one Mr. Ude Okoye was the secretary. Thereafter, and said it was Senator Anyang. Thereafter, the party changed its mind to say that it's Mr. Shokwedo. And again, the party changed its mind to say it's Anyang. The party actually has no secretary. It was only signed by the chairman, which we responded to. But we are here as the registrar and regulators of political parties. And we hope when we go into the working session, we will fully understand what more you expect from us as the registrar. Issues to discuss. And we look forward to these issues to discuss. And we look forward to this important clarification from the party as to who is the secretary.
So you heard what the INEC chairman said?
Yes, say you cannot exonerate the governors of PDP in the complicity that has led to this confusion. And a leader with no clarity and focus and purpose, this is where it will lead us to. Letters, several letters, different letters have been written to the INEC chairman. You know, is rather funny. You know, this to me is very ridiculous that they are written letter back and forth with different names as national secretary of the party. How can you keep such a person leading a big party like PDP? I expect that you get a different result. This guy is simply
what stopped the party? What stopped the party for replacing Mr. Yocha Ayu?
This is what I'm saying. I said the governors are complicit.
I wouldn't want Yocha Ayu to be replaced.
That question I can't answer. You ask the governors because we were almost there when they met and said that Damagu should continue. It was the same Bala, who I say is the presumptive leader of the party, who made the announcement now that they have confidence, they pass vote of confidence in Damagu leadership. So they're complicit in whatever is going on. There's a lot that we don't know. And I believe that there's more to it than what we are seeing. If in the announcement of Damagu that Ayahu is resuming, I saw Bala seated there with other governors. And then other members of the National Working Committee that are controlled by these same governors could go and issue a different statement, then there's more to it than meet the eye. There's a lot that those of us who are just ordinary members of the party don't know. And so why should we continue in that kind of confusion? A lot of well-meaning people in PDP, people of substance and integrity, simply are leaving the party. And a lot more. When I was here the last time, I told you that a lot more are going to leave the party. Nobody will find himself in that confusion. Look at what is happening to Ekiti now.
Are you also planning to?
We might end up not having a candidate in Ekiti based on this confusion. Whether that is intentional, nobody knows. But I believe that it's intentional. They just want to kill a PDP deliberately. And the governors are complicit in it.
Are you also planning to leave the PDP?
There's a possibility that way.
You are tired of the whole thing?
There's a possibility with what is going on.
Where would you then be headed?
Well, there are so many alternatives. There are so many alternatives.
So you are joining the coalition?
There's Labour Party. There's Alliance for Democracy. There's NMPP led by Kwangwaso. Kwangwaso is a colleague and a friend. So there are a lot of alternatives.
APC is APC an alternative for you?
APC can be an alternative, but I have issues. APC can be an alternative. APC, after all, is the ruling party. I'm not ruling that out. I say there are a lot of alternatives.
But I mean, considering the fact that you have benefited a lot for us, you were governor of the platform of the PDP.
Yes,
you became a senator.
You see, because I have a lot of people who looked up to me politically. And in any decision that I take, I have to consult widely with them. And so with what is going on now, that consultation has started. We're consulting. What do we do? Where do we move from here?
Are your people in Benue State aggrieved about what is going on? Because there are a lot of people that the problem of the PDP stemmed from your state.
No, it did not.
Because if Yocha Ayu had not...
Yocha Ayu's removal was orchestrated by the same group of persons who had this agenda of destroying the party. It was orchestrated. It wasn't that the man woke up and walk away from the party and throw the party.
So they forced him out.
It was well orchestrated by this same group of persons.
So in all of this, there is the coalition talks on one hand, and there is the ambition of 2027 presidency. Which of these do you think is more of the weightier force that is pulling the party down?
Ambition of what?
2027. There are those who want to be president, who wants a ticket of the party, and that those who have alleged that...
You see, to me, it's rather preposterous for any person to imagine that you'll be presidential candidate for a party that is in shambles. Is it just being a candidate? Except you want to be a candidate for the purpose of transacting with the government in power. There are a lot of people who want to be candidate to transact with the government in power. Except that, otherwise, if I run to be a candidate, I want to win the elections. And in the election, the party must be together. Any party that is not together, you present a candidate, you're wasting your time. And so any person imagining that he will be a candidate in PDP, who a PDP is now, that person must be a joker.
Does the PDP look like a party that can contest? Is it too late for the party to fix itself ahead of the 2027?
We're in June. We have 6 months to go. And by 2026, around March, April, full political activities, including primaries, would have started taking place. A party that is not together, it does not look like it will put itself together, cannot be part of that election. I don't see PDP coming out of this quagmire anytime soon. And I want to contest for election, so I won't waste my time waiting and imagining. It's becoming like a mirage.
You are going back to the Senate. Is that your plan?
I want to contest election. It's possible I can contest for the presidency of this country. It mustn't just be the Senate. Don't you think I can contest for president?
You're from the North.
Who says that somebody from the North will not contest for president?
So I'm imagining that the balance of power in terms of the rotation, that those who think, well, the South should have 8 years from whichever party that is...
If I join a political party that does not have anything zoned in its manifestos, of course I'm eligible to contest. But if my party, I'm a party man, if my party is that party that in its constitution states that power should rotate and this time is time of this particular region, I respect that to the fullest. It depends on the constitution of the party.
What you just said is concerning. When you said the PDP cannot be ready for 2027.
I don't see them ready. If that's the way it looks now, would they be able to contest the Ekiti election with this confusion? Would they be able to? Because Anyao and Damagu, unfortunately, must have to sign the form. Unfortunately. And if there's this confusion, other members of the National Working Committee are saying, look, I will not work with you. There's no way that the party will be functional. There's no way that the party will be functional. INEC, first and foremost, will not recognize any activity of the party. If Anyao does not sign the form, convening the National Working Committee, the neck of the party, and you hold neck, INEC, whatever decision you take there is null and void, ab initio. INEC will not recognize it. So this is where we are. We sign the form, we agree that he'll be part of it, and if it doesn't, what do we do? Those are the questions that are answered, and these are very fundamental questions that determine the future of the party.
If you add your way and you're given the powers to fix the PDP, what would you do?
First and foremost, I will sit down with the aggrieved members of the party. Aggrieved members, genuinely aggrieved members, not people who are out to destroy the party, and seek to know what the issues are and address them. That is where I thought. I'm an aggrieved PDP member. None of this National Working Committee member have ever approached us in Benue, because we have two chairmen in Benue. One Damagu said that is the one he recognized, the other one he said he didn't recognize. All of them have offices. And no person is sitting down with these people to talk. So how do you expect the people in this faction to come together and work for the interests of the party in Benue, if you are using Benue as the case in this discussion? So are there very aggrieved members nationally. A committee was set up. That committee can only be functional if the party itself is together. If the party is not together, how can the committee set up, headed by Senator Saraki, work? When will he submit the report? So these are very concerning issues.
So
that must be addressed.
The reconciliation effort will be the difficult one.
It's going to be a difficult one with what is happening now. Because I saw in the meeting with INEC, I saw some governors there with the leader of the party, president, quote unquote, because as the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, in absence of a president and in absence of the person who would have been leader, who, for some inextricable reasons, have been shoved out of the party, Bala Mohammed, governor of Bauchi, is the leader of the party. I saw him in both meetings. So how will you sit down as a leader? You listen to what the INEC chairman said, and then you come and sit down with the national chairman, addressing the press, agreeing with what the INEC chairman have said. In the same vein, National Working Committee members of the party that you are leader convene another meeting, wrote a letter disagreeing totally with that. What kind of leadership is that?
So you put the blame squarely on the doorstep of Damagum and Bala Mohammed.
Of course, absolutely. Absolutely.
So where do you go from here? You have blamed, you have said Damagum is not a leader.
No, he's not. He doesn't have what it takes to lead people. He has no capacity whatsoever to lead a party as big as a PDP. You need people with capacity. He has exhibited a high level of ineptitude as far as running of the party is concerned.
Don't you think Atiku Abubakar could have played a role here?
Well, you know that most of the governors said they don't want him in the party. So the gentleman decided to watch and see if they can run the party, and that is the result that we're seeing now. You must have a leader in any organization. There is no organization. I mentioned here before, even at the family, nucleus unit of family, it's either your wife is a leader or the husband is a leader. But there must be somebody leading an organization. We don't have leadership here. And once leadership has no integrity and substance, problem setting. That is what we are witnessing.
So I'd like to ask you about the coalition, but we need to take a break now. Whether or not the coalition will work, the president doesn't think that the coalition will work, then I would also want you to give us your insight on what happened in Benue and Yelwata and how this should never happen again. But that's going to be after we return from this break, everyone. Join us again.
In the 21st century, Nigeria cannot be an independent nation without technology independence.
In a world racing towards the future. Out of Africa is Zynox Technologies, a Nigerian tech group with major global certifications, proving capacity and a bold vision to domesticate world-class technologies.
From powering critical government infrastructure, homes and businesses, to delivering some of Africa's most integrated ICT projects, we are redefining what's possible, and we take responsibility. And with our efficient high-power renewable energy solutions, we are bringing sustainable power to homes and businesses.
Let's build a stronger tech nation, powered by Zynox. Zynox. Anticipate the future.
Binatone blenders and smoothie makers makes cooking simple, easy, and tasty. Unbreakable jar. Most efficient, sturdy, and reliable with 9 great models to choose from. Get your Binatone blender and smoothie maker now. That's why professionals love Binatone.
You will get more satisfaction.
Binatone, simply better.
No matter what life throws at your family, no matter the condition, day or night, it's a minor pep. Not yourself, I know when I turn over daddy, mommy, auntie, and uncle. It's a minor pep. No matter who you are, minor pep, turn over 10.
Amino Pep Fort contains 10 essential amino acids, multivitamins, minerals enriched with zinc.
No matter who you are, Amino Pep, turn over 10.
Amino Pep Fort from Seagreen Pharmaceuticals Limited.
Protects you and your family.
As a little girl, I lit up every room with my presence. But as I grew, a shadow crept in. Little by little, I began to retreat from the warmth I used to share. With each reflection, images stared right back at me, so much that I longed to find brightness once more. Just then, I found Cosmo. With every stroke, Cosmo was everything I needed to shine. Not just did Cosmo haircare products revive my hair, it reconnected me with the woman I had always aspired to be. From childhood dreams to grown-up goals, my radiance is reborn with healthy, luscious hair, thanks to Cosmo.
Cosmo, for the love of beauty. Marketed and distributed by GVS Cosmetics.
The Duchess International Hospital opened its doors in October 2021. The mission of the hospital is to reverse medical tourism. We take particular care here at the Duchess to bring together a combination of the brightest and the best locally, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who are interested in returning to do very good work for the benefit of our patients here in this country.
The good thing is that we have all international expertise here, all international facilities here, international people working here. Everything is coming together in a space which was considered not great in terms of the availability of healthcare.
Access Bank, of course, has been able to provide us with a robust range of products and services that has enabled us to deliver that standard and quality of healthcare that is integral to our mission as an organization.
Victor made you happy.
He was lovely and strong.
To keep Victor strong, you must feed him tasty, nourishing food.
Of course, Mama. Victor loves good food. Mama, see how happy you've been with Binatone all your life. I got a yam powder, juicer, smoothie maker, air fryer, kettle, microwave, rice cooker, toaster, and many more.
Binatone, available nationwide.
The best thing we are doing now is putting housing on the front burner of our needs.
We have a successful inclusiveness and the loan that is necessary for our people to get educated and invest in their own life. We will build a fair society. We will launch a bold new initiative to empower 400,000 young Nigerians, including youth corpers, with consumer credit. The dream is realizable. The way we are going, we have a road that will outlive all of us. That is how to build the future.
Powered by Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Chapter. GMT, in God we trust.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Senator Gabriel Suswam is a former governor of Benue State. He's been speaking with us on the state of affairs of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Give us an understanding, Your Excellency, of the role PDP could play in the coalition. Because there are those who have the opinion that one way you can beat Bola Tinubu and the APC in 2027 is a coalition and coming together, an agreement of opposition forces. Do you agree with that notion?
Well, not just coalition, but serious-minded stakeholders who are determined that they will make a change. You can have a coalition. If you are not serious, if you are not purposeful, you might not achieve anything. But what I've seen so far is a purposeful coalition that is coming together. But let me say this, what we are now having is not PDP, Labour, or any other party coming together. There are factions of the party because the people, the leaders of the coalition, so to speak, none of them is in control of any political party. If it is Atiku, he's not in control of PDP. Peter Obi is not in control of Labour Party. So for some members of the ruling party in APC who are also joining the coalition are also not in control of that party. So what we are having, that is why it's a coalition. It's not a merger. Different individuals of common interests are coming together to say, look, we have enough of what is going on in Nigeria. We want to change. This is not the first time. When APC came together, their own was a merger because there were leaders of the party joining together to form one party. Here is individuals with factions of the parties coming together to become a unit, probably in a new party or adopt an existing party as a platform moving forward. And so people, if I was in the ruling party, I should be worried because a lot of people are interested, including a lot of people in the ruling party.
Really?
Are very interested.
People within the APC?
Of course, the CPC part of it, most of their members are part of this coalition. So they're still in APC, but they're members of the coalition.
And working against the APC from the inside.
It's not to work against the APC. It is work for Nigerians. I don't see it as working against the APC. The essence of political parties is to create alternatives for people. If Nigerians now feel that the ruling party is not ruling them well, there should be an alternative. So it's not working against a political party. It's working for the interests of Nigeria. When CPC, ACN, and other parties came together to work for Nigerians against Jonathan, it wasn't working against Jonathan. They felt that at that point in time, Nigerians were dissatisfied with PDP at that time. So they came together, provided an alternative. And Nigerians were convinced that they would do better than what was currently on ground. And so they were able to win the election. So this is not the first time that you're going to have a scenario such as this. Nigerians, based on the economic policies of this current administration, are very dissatisfied. Very dissatisfied.
The scenario...
and the coalition believe, people who are coming, believe that based on this, There's no Nigerian that is not affected by the economic policy of this current government. And so I believe that the coalition will be the party to beat. And so if I go into a ruling party or the ruling party, I should be worried about it. But it's normal. When SCN, CPC came together, I was still a governor then, we would just dismiss it, that nothing was going to happen. So
the president dismissed your coalition today too?
So, you know, we were doing the same thing when we were in government. We're dismissing APC then, completely. People just didn't give them any chance at all. They won the election.
If you were President Tinubu today, would you be worried?
Of course, when you are in any election that you are going into a contest, there are areas that you should be worried about.
I'm talking about if I was the coalition force.
Yes, of course.
Would it worry you?
The coalition is yet to manifest. Let them manifest first. Characters that will comprise or constitute the coalition will determine whether the ruling party should be worried.
Mm. So you look at it, INEC is saying there are about 100 or more police associations that have approached it for registration. And ADA, which is, we understand, being backed by the likes of Rotimi Amechi and Morado, and we've heard a few names that are behind it. There are those who worry that it takes an average of 6-7 months to be able to register a political party in Nigeria by the procedure as stated in Nigeria's laws. So there are those who think, well, a merger could work. A new party might be a difficult one to groom ahead of 2027.
Shogun, what is your view? Definitely manifest.
Which option do you think could Nigerians look forward to that could warm their hearts better?
In the next 1-2 weeks, I believe that something will manifest.
Something is in the works, isn't it?
Yes.
And you are aware of it?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm aware of it, but I've seen it.
Are you part of the coalition?
Part of the coalition. I'm dissatisfied with PDP, so if coalition present a good platform for me, of course I will join them.
If there is one thing that needs, because the interest of Nigeria and the Nigerian people is very critical at this point. If the present government and the APC is an option for Nigeria in 2027, what do you think they could do to fix what is going on? If you say Nigerians are dissatisfied, what can they do? And they say, oh, they are making effort. In fact, the president said in Nasarawa today that the Nasarawa state governor is doing wonderful. And that is because him also is doing very well.
You know, I've said this here before, that the economic policies of the ruling party are the biggest problem. In any country where you take these economic policies at the same time, you are bound to have issues. Subsidy removed, you increase the MPR, you remove subsidy on energy, you devalue your currency. Inflation is about 30-something now. People have been devalued. The purchasing power of people have been devalued. And so there is palpable suffering in the land. So if the government wants to change that, is to address some of these issues. You devalue the currency. It means that you've devalued the purchasing power of the people. And to that extent, there will be inflation in the land. This is exactly what is happening. A lot of people, it has become quite unaffordable for an average person to live a decent life now because his purchasing power has been completely devalued. And so you don't expect that such a person will be happy. He will look for an alternative. If there's alternative, he will look for it. Except the ruling party fix some of those areas. They will definitely have problems. They will have problems.
With the situation of things today in Nigeria,
it is now,
you don't think that the APC can win in 2027?
I don't think. I doubt
if they run if there's an election today?
No, I doubt very much, because speak to people on the street. And you agree with what I'm saying.
Let me take you to Benue. Were you in town when the President Tinubu visited Benue?
Yes.
On the heels of the Yawata attack?
Yes, I joined the governor in receiving him, together with him at the town hall meeting. I was there.
What do you make of the situation?
The situation in Benue shouldn't have happened at all.
Why?
Because we're not in a war situation. Even the Iran Israeli war has not consumed life the way that what happened in Yewata did. Over 300 people, because I went there myself.
What was the devastation like?
People murdered in cold blood. Children. I went to one of the rooms and see a mother and a little child still decomposing. That have burnt. The part that was burnt was not burnt, was decomposing. The mother and the child were sleeping. If we were fighting over land with Nasarawa, I would understand. If we're fighting with any set of people, I will understand. There's no fight. We're not fighting with Nasarawa. Nasarawa are our neighbors. We're not fighting with them. We're not fighting over land. So the question is, what did these innocent peasant people do to be murdered in such a manner, in such number?
There are reports, and I don't know if you are privy to it, there are reports by the intelligence community that that attack could happen. Wait, are you privy to it?
No, there's no way that I will be privy to such intelligence reports.
It's been reported that there were reports days before that attack happened, prompting authorities.
This is what I disagree. If the intelligence community have such information, and it is not just to have intelligence, it is to act on intelligence. If people are planning such devilish attack, an intelligence community are able to gather such intelligence, one would have expected ordinary that they don't need to wait for the governors. They need to address it. Nothing was done.
And you imagine that scale, that scale, Your Excellency, of attack, the killing of that number of people did not take 20 minutes. It took well over 30 minutes, running into about an hour or more of that kind of impact. And they said they came on motorbikes. They came into that community.
They were very strategic. If we go to the scene, you see the soldiers and police are housed in one primary school, entering Yarawata from Abuja. The killing took place at the southern end. So when they came, they first distracted the soldiers. They engaged the soldiers on the northern side. So the soldiers concentrated and the police concentrated on the northern side, that those people were coming. So they were exchanging fire with them. The killing was going on in the southern part of the town. And that is where, because it was a market day, so most people who came for that market, who couldn't go back, some were 20 in a room, some 30 in a room. And so what they simply did when they came was to they came with gallons of PMS. They will put it up. If you run out, you are dead. If you stay in, you are dead. That was what happened.
And the thinking and some of the things that are coming out is such that they said some of their cattle were seized. And this looked to them like a reprisal. And they promised that they were coming back. And they did.
Reprisal is not the correct adjective to qualify this, because there was not a fight.
But they said that some level of authority seized the animals.
If animals were seized by criminals, because there was no government authority that seized any animal. If criminals seize animals, the people sleeping in those children, were they a party to it? They were not, of course. So this was a well-orchestrated plan to commit genocide Not in a war. If you see, if it is in a war situation and you commit such thing, people can relate to it. Say, well, after all, it's in a war situation. These are children, mothers, peasant farmers.
To what end do you think this genocide intention as being alleged could be for? To what end? Why would they want to? These are majority these are thief people, isn't it?
The tour thief who has more intelligence than we do, addressing the president, say that it was a deliberate attempt for land grabbing. Because these stories have been in the air for a long time. Even when I was governor, I had to confront it. You know, at some point, I was even ambushed as governor when I was going to address some of the people who were affected in one village, in the same Guma local government. So this has been a recurring decimal in all government at all time in Benue State. And there's an axis. This is what worries me the most, Sheon. We share border with Taraba State on the northern side of Benue. We share border with Nasarawa State on the northern side. Most of the attacks are coming from the Nasarawa side. And these people come in these numbers, accommodate themselves in Nasarawa State. They will move in the night, attack Benue, and go back to Nasarawa State. There are a lot of questions.
But the president set up a committee. I have a feeling that you were part of that committee. It's set to resolve and reconcile. The reconciliation part is what a lot of people are lost on. Who are you reconciling with? And what exactly is a reconciliation? Because the Tutsi, for example, believe that there is a tribe that is under attack. There is a people that have been aimed to be wiped out. So is there an offense that has been taken by who?
We're waiting for the governor to let us know, because I think after that he has seen the president. The president will throw more light on what he meant by that, because that kind of peace committee will now involve the governor of Nasarawa, the governor of Taraba, and some key stakeholders in Nasarawa and Taraba State, because I had formed such a committee before. Then it wasn't the president, but when we're having these issues, I formed that committee with some elders from Benue and asked them to meet with stakeholders across the entire length and breadth of the northern states. And it works. And so the president has expanded his own. He said there should be a committee of former governors in Benue. And I think he included governor of Taraba and governor of Nasarawa as well. Because Nasarawa is very critical. This bandit are commandated in Nasarawa. I'm not saying that Nasarawa government is aware of it, but they come from Nasarawa and they go back to Nasarawa. So the question is,
something has to be done.
The question is, you mentioned intelligence gathering. Are the intelligent people aware of the fact that these bandits come from Nasarawa, attack us, and go back to Nasarawa? If the answer is yes, then that must be addressed first and foremost.
All right.
Because there's a route. They don't come and stay in Benue. This attack, they move back. And when they were coming, from what I've heard, the intelligence you are talking about, from what I've heard, that there were villages in Nasarawa where they settled for 1 or 2 days prior to this attack. And so I think that we should take the issue of these people, where they come from and where they go after the attack, very seriously. If we do that, we'll be able to address the problem. What happened in Benue shouldn't have happened and should not happen anywhere.
Governor Gabriel Suswam, former governor of Benue State, thanks so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Always a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
But that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimbalwe. God bless Nigeria.
Are you ready for a divine encounter that will shift your destiny? Join thousands at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan. Register now for the Kingdom Activation Conference, Ibadan, 10th to 12th July on www.lapeaselm.org. Come and catch the fire of God from seasoned global ministers, Dr. Randy Clark, Bill Johnson, Dr. Tom Jones, Dr. Leif Hetland, Dr. Catherine Runala, Reverend Victor Adeyemi, Dr. Charity Cook, with worship led by Olumide Inyu, BJ Sachs, and Dare Justified. Hosted by conveners Femi and Mina Bajomo. Viewing centers in Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, and across Nigeria and the world. Join in person or at one of our viewing centers. Streaming live in English, French, and Hausa at www.lapeaselm.org. For more details, call +234 703 437 1401 or visit our website www.lapeaselm.org. Follow us on all platforms. Lapis Lazuli Ministries, Kingdom Activation Conference 2025. Fulfill your divine destiny.
Good evening and welcome to Newstrack on Channels Television. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Our top stories this hour. I will begin in the court. The second prosecution witness, Segun Adeleke, in the alleged money laundering case instituted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, against the former governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, has told the Federal Capital Territory High Court that the former governor and his co-defendants never paid for property at EFAB Company during the day.